And we are live. Welcome everybody. This is just going to be a quick like 45-minute show with me and Eric. We're going to talk about crypto, Hive, HBD. Talk about all of the crypto and market topics. We're also here to test the new Threadcast feature. So a lot of you guys already noticed, but we just released Threadcast mode where the UI automatically detects when it's a Threadcast. And if it's a Threadcast, then you get real-time chatting. So it feels like a real-time chat room, and it sorts the threads by latest. So it usually a thread, like a thread storm, it would sort it by oldest to newest. But on a Threadcast, it'll sort it by newest to oldest. And then it'll also update in real time so that it feels like a chat room. So yeah, it's super cool. I mean, we've all been playing with it now. There's like almost 100 comments in the Threadcast. So super cool. You don't have to refresh at all. And yeah, you guys might notice we also added the author and the latest toggles. So that was like one of the biggest requests, is to add some sorting features. So the author feature I think is actually really cool. Now you can like sort by the threads of a specific author, and then you can also sort like latest. Like it adds a lot of layers of variables that you can play with. So like, for example, you could choose taskmaster, and then you can go latest, you can go oldest threads in the Threadcast that were made by taskmaster. I almost called him Threadmaster. So
the Threadmaster. Cool. I mean, he is.
He should make a new account. He should take that name before someone takes it.
Tokenized Society is asking, how does the UI detect it is a Threadcast? Is it through the tag, or is there any other variables that you're taking into account?
Yeah, no, it's through the tag. So it just detects that it's a Threadcast. If you have hashtag Threadcast, it'll detect it's a Threadcast. Which also gave me, when we were implementing that, it also gave me the idea that if it's like a thread storm or something, we might be able to do something cool there. I know one problem that we've seen is that when it's a thread storm, sometimes replies of other users get mixed in with the original author's like thread storm. So we might make it so that if it's a thread storm, it prioritizes the author over everyone else. And then we can do some other pretty cool features like that. And then this kind of showcase. So this is like another showcase of which I saw Taskmaster commented of. By the way, I'm in the Discord. I don't know if you're in there, Eric. Just in Leo TV. So this also showcases the LeoCache stuff that we can do. So LeoCache offers us a lot of flexibility to just pretty much do whatever we want. And this is one of the things that we can do, which is to take specific hashtags or really any variable that's in a thread, and we can manipulate what the UI does with that. So for this example, you take hashtag Threadcast, and then if the UI and LeoCache detects that hashtag, it can completely change the way the UI displays that thread container. So super cool, just a little showcase of the power of LeoCache, in my opinion.
Yeah, one of the things that maybe could be good for the UI would be just like the way that we have the ability to just click on the little world button and send the thread into a community. Maybe that there could be a little button that said like maybe a play icon or something, like go live, and then you just click it, the tag gets added automatically to the thread. I mean, it's just for visual purposes. So that people do not forget to add the tag.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think we should add something like what you're talking about, like the little button that says go live. And then I think we're also going to implement that because we're planning on doing that live Threadcast on the homepage, where, if someone's going to do a Threadcast, you can like schedule it, and then you can see like the scheduled Threadcast. So I think we might do that simultaneously. Like we'll implement a button, kind of like polls, where you can hit a button right there and say, we're going live, and then you get to like choose a time, like a start time and an end time, and then you can set different variables, and cool stuff like that. There's a lot of customization that's possible now with LeoCache that wasn't possible before. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what we can make of it.
And Taxmaster is asking where are the links. I guess he wants to watch it from YouTube or Spaces. I don't know.
Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, I just dropped them.
I mean, this completely changes how people are going to use threadcasts right now. Like up until today, people had to just scroll all the way down, like refresh, and then scroll all the way down to see new comments. But right now, it's just like the fact that they get updated for every 5 seconds, and then you can just sort each like the way you want to browse them. Yeah, I think it's a game changer.
Yeah, I agree.
And tomorrow, like we're still coordinating this. I don't know if it's 100% sure, but we are striving to get like all of the, well, some people from Hive are going to represent the blockchain and their own dApps in Denver, Colorado, this weekend. It's I think it's called Rare Evo, the conference. So we're trying to get those people who are going to attend to just make live updates on the threadcast so that people can actually follow conferences in the other side of the world without having to tune in into a Web2 centralized stream or tap into specific social media accounts, and they could just follow it all through the threadcast, and you could just run the whole day, you know.
Yep. Yeah, you know, I want to like start pushing more of like a put it on chain initiative, like, you know, events like what you're talking about, and then, you know, like there's a bunch of Hive live streamers and stuff, and I would love to see them like this kind of like put it on chain event to say like, hey, like, you know, do a threadcast and put it on Hive. Like all this stuff gets indexed on Hive. And, you know, a lot of the stuff that we're doing, you know, wasn't possible without threads. So like if you did a live stream before, you'd have to use like Discord or Twitter or whatever to do the commenting and the real time, you know, reading and engaging with the audience. But now with threadcasts, and with this threadcast mode, I mean, we haven't really caught that many bugs. I've seen like maybe 2, and the devs fixing them while we're live. So you know, I'm really excited about what we can do with threadcast. So I hope that we can get like tomorrow and throughout that Denver conference, we can get them using threads and get threadcast going for it. I think it would be super cool. And then, you know, I mean, I know Taskmaster and a couple of other people have started to do threadcasts for like, you know, soccer and football and, you know, baseball events and stuff. So I'd love to see even more like IRL events getting live threadcasted. Or like one thing I was thinking about is like, I mean, I don't know how political people are in threads, but like there was the, you know, US Republican debate the other day. And I was just thinking about, you know, people were covering it live on Twitter. And I was just thinking about how cool it would be if it was like a threadcast and like people were just dropping like clips and links and quotes, you know, kind of live threadcasting it. So, yeah, I think it'd be super cool. And then, you know, long term with threadcasts, I really want to get something where it's integrated live streaming. So like right now we're live streaming on X and YouTube. And what I would love to see, and I don't know if does three speak still have live streaming. I'm not 100% sure, but
I don't think so. It was too complicated. For there's Vim, and Vim
it's
is
hard, yeah.
Built on Hive, so there's probably something we can do with that.
Yeah, so either Vim or and maybe all of them. Maybe we get YouTube, X, and Vim and integrate all of them so that if you live stream on any of those platforms, you can embed it into the threadcast. So then people can like imagine like a little pop out in the, you know, right corner of the screen, and you could be watching us and listening to us right from the Leo UI, and then threadcasting all from that one page. So yeah, Taskmaster saying Vim does live streaming. So yeah, I would love to do something like that for threadcast. I think that's kind of like down the roadmap of things we could do just to make threadcast even more official and more like, you know, all encompassing.
Yeah, I was just watching one of our partners, Army of Crypto, is doing a tournament today. Well, they are doing it right now. And since they don't have the technology yet, I mean, they're going to implement it at one point, but they don't have the technology yet to pair people within the app. So they are just telling their users on Discord, hey, you are paired against this guy, just send him a match invitation. So they're using Discord to coordinate that tournament, but they could easily just migrate that activity to a threadcast of the tournament and just get live updates. People can just upload their game position at that moment. The founder can tell them, hey, you are paired against this person, and it all stays on chain. It's not on Discord. So that also adds a layer of transparency. And we are just providing some sort of alternative to having all of these conversations in Discord.
Yeah, I love that idea.
So it's
Huge alternative for Discord.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting it out, like telling people this exists.
Yeah, I mean, get the technology working and working well, which I think we do. I mean, I haven't seen really any major problems. The most major problem I've seen so far with Threadcast mode is that if you hit the reply module, Taskmaster found this out, and you start typing, and then a new thread comes in, it closes the module. But we're gonna have that fixed probably by the time we get off air. So, I just think it's, we're ready for prime time in a lot of different ways. So definitely want to see more threadcasts.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's a great way to get engagement on chain. I mean, we already have 150 comments in here. That's like, if you look at like trending posts on Hive, that's like several of the trending posts on Hive worth of comments in under an hour.
Yeah, 150. Oh, and the amount of comments doesn't change. I have to refresh, I think. Yeah, just to note. Yes, 123, because I was watching 78 comments.
That's something that we're working on, is updating the reply count in real time, also the upvote count in real time. And once we implement that, we're going to implement it across the whole UI. So like if you're just on the homepage for threads and you're scrolling through, you'll see like a reply get added to a thread in real time, and then you can click on it and see that reply. So all this stuff, like all this real-time updating and stuff, wasn't possible without LeoCache, but now that we've got it, we can do all this real-time stuff.
Yeah, and the possibilities are pretty much limitless. I'm gonna scroll down to see if there's any questions about this. I mean, I think you wanna tackle some Hive topics, but maybe there are questions about this before we start that.
Yeah, we could just keep going on the Threadcast stuff. You got me.
Oh, and we got to more than 1,500 replies on the AMA Threadcast. I think it's already at 1,600 or something like that. So this is a great use case, and we want to tell the other top witnesses and whales and all that, hey, look how powerful it is, threads right now. Before around 200 comments, 200 replies, the threads stopped indexing, but right now we could hold something so much bigger. I think that a lot of the like part of the perception of some people who are not voting for the DHF proposal is because they don't know how much Leo has advanced in the span of 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, just go back to May 1st and look at the UI compared to today. It's insane. It's insane. We made a lot of progress.
Yeah. Yeah, Taskmaster is saying, imagine if we had a few threadcasts per day that topped 1,000. It's not unlikely. Yeah, he's very much right. With the collaboration proposal that you just posted yesterday, I think this might be a reality, because one of the points that you included was that we want to do some small event sponsorships And if we get these organizers to do a live threadcast of the event, we might be looking at 20 events per week having their own threadcast.
I mean, yeah, and just imagine the ad revenue and the page views and the engagement. And then if you want to look on chain, imagine, 20 a week, 20 threadcasts a week, getting 1,000, 1,000 replies, and putting all of that on the Hive blockchain. I mean, it's so many comments, so much engagement directly on the chain. So it's like I said, I really like this. I really like this idea of putting more stuff on chain, more activity.
Yeah, and Tokenized Society is saying the sorting option was implemented exactly with big caps the way I imagined. I wouldn't have done anything different. And that's one of the best things I like about Leo, that of course you need some level of centralization to push improvements and to keep upgrading at a fast pace. But Leo is also very in touch with the community and what they want. You actually listen to feedback and what people want from the platform, and then it becomes some sort of mix of what you have as a vision, but also what the community wants. So it doesn't become some sort of decision-making process like Twitter or X, where Elon Musk just wakes up and says, oh, I want to change this to X, and then just drops the bomb, and all of the feedback that the community give is not taken into account for any decision. So I think it's the best mix of centralized leadership with a decentralized community, and the decisions are made between both.
Yeah, so we have an internal document between me and the devs of the next 100. So it's called Dev 100 basically, and it's the next 100 things that I want the devs to do, and then I kind of let the devs decide, because it's easy to get burnt out, and that's something I've learned over the years. I mean, Leo's been around for 4 years now. We've gone through a lot of different lead and junior devs throughout that time. So I've learned a lot about working with devs and figuring things out, and keeping them motivated and moving forward. One thing that I figured out is that devs can easily get burnt out if you just give them like one task and say, go bang your head against the wall on this, and you have no flexibility, you have to do this. So one thing that we've started doing is I have a list of 100 things. I mean, I have a list of like thousands of things, but I take the 100 that I'm most passionate about, or and this will get to your point. I take the 100 things that I'm most passionate about, and also that I hear the community talking about, and then I put them into that 100 list, that Dev 100 list, and every week the devs just pick what they want to work on. So they might pick 10, 15, 20 things from that list and just focus on those, whatever they feel like doing. So like one thing was the live threadcast feature and all these sorting options. That was from you guys. Like last AMA, which was on Tuesday, you guys were all talking about how, and we got to 1,500 comments, which is the first time we've ever gotten that high. You guys were all talking about how annoying it was to like refresh and scroll to the bottom. So I moved that sorting feature, because it was on our roadmap, but it wasn't on the first 100. I moved it right to the top of the 100. And then one of the devs was like, hey, this sounds cool, and I'm tired of working on, actually he was working on the 3Speak video integration, and he was like, I want to take a break because my brain hurts from working on this. So then he was like, let me work on this tonight. And then last night he started working on sorting features, and then he's like, oh, we can also do this threadcast mode. And I was like, go for it. And then last night picks it from the list, does it, and today we're now testing the new threadcast feature and all these sorting methods. And that's kind of like our process now. Like our workflow is very different than it used to be, where I would say, okay, we need this done and we need it done ASAP. Now it's like, here's 100 things, pick whatever you feel like working on, and do it from there.
Yeah, I think that huge victory was to implement the labs.leo, because now you have an alpha interface where features go live, people can test them, people can give feedback, and those who just want the bugless or the glitchless experience, they can just go to normal LeoFinance.io and stay engaging there. But those who want the preview of what's coming, they know that there will be bugs, but they also they can also get involved in the team's process of getting things fixed, right? Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like it a lot. And one thing that was feedback from you actually is to do the labs UI and have it in conjunction with the normal Leo UI. So you know, that was feedback from you that we should have like this kind of circular flow where we push the features to labs, test them for like a week, and then push them to production. So we're actually hoping to push the LeoCache update. So like everything you see on labs right now, we're doing some final bug fixing today, and then we're going to try to push it to production. So hopefully all this stuff will be pushed to production. There's a couple more bugs you guys have seen, like you know, the voting module being like transparent, like little stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, no real like UI breaking bugs, which is pretty surprising.
Yeah, and we are finally not getting any feedback from community leaders asking us, hey, where's the threads of my community from last week? I want to pick the winners. Because LeoCache fixed all of the old threads not indexing, and if the container was full, some like all of that stuff, pretty cool. And Luis88 is saying it would be I would like to see an ongoing stream on top, embedded Twitch stream, and having a more or less direct feedback on chain. Imagine live streams from Hivefest in Mexico. Yeah, it would be amazing to have. I mean, there's 1 month before Hivefest starts. I don't know if it's achievable, but it would be amazing to have the live stream directly on Threads.
Yeah, I think we could do something before Hivefest. I would love to do it. Obviously, you know, I'm going to be there, so I won't be able to reply as easily, but maybe we can get some people to be in charge of the threadcasts, and we can do some cool stuff for Hivefest. Like maybe during each, I would love to do something, and maybe we could reach out. It's just an idea. We could reach out to all the different presenters at Hivefest, and maybe we can ask them if they want to do a threadcast during their presentation for each presentation. So like Splinterlands would have a threadcast that started right when they went live on stage, and then people would be able to respond live and discuss what's being talked about in their presentation. And then, you know, we share the live stream link and then people can comment and do all that. So, and then, you know, for the first time ever, Hivefest would be, maybe we can figure out how to do this. I'm getting excited now. Maybe we can figure out how to talk to the Hivefest leadership and see if we can make Threadcast like an official sponsor or something of it. And like, you know, and for the first time ever, put comments on chain, because usually Hivefest is live streamed and all the comments are like on YouTube and stuff. But maybe this could be the first Hivefest where it's all like a collection of Threadcasts for Hivefest, and it's all on the blockchain for the first time ever.
Yeah, and just think about it. I'm a sucker for chess streams, and all these creators, they have money. They make good money from the people who are watching them and all of the ad revenue and all of that stuff. Okay, so they can keep making money on Twitch, but they can migrate their engagement to a threadcast, and then people can just watch the stream on Leo and then comment, and all of these comments, the creator can reward them for that interaction. So it's kind of giving back to the community that is giving you all of this money with ad revenue. You just sort of give them back something, and they don't have to do it from their own pocket. They just allocate some of the Hive inflation and Leo inflation to do so. I mean, they would have to buy Hive in order to do so, or by Leo, or we can delegate them Leo. But in the end, it helps Hive in terms of investors and in terms of traffic.
100%. Which, what you were saying gives me an idea too about like chess live streaming and stuff. And you know, it kind of this is like giving me like a Twitch live stream chat room type of vibe. And, you know, I think we could add some cool like gifting and donation, like Twitch kind of has all these really cool like donation features where like donations pop up on the screen and in the chat room and stuff like that. So I wonder if we could start integrating stuff like that too. And also you mentioned communities. So we also released a new feature, which I don't think a lot of people have seen yet. I just posted a thread about it, but we added the sorting and searching features to communities. So now you can kind of like on the profile page, you can go to any community page. So if you guys want to try it, go to a community page like Splinterlands. I just posted a link in the threadcast to the Splinterlands community page. Go to that community page and then go to the threads tab. By the way, we're also going to make the threads tab default in the community page in an update soon. But go to the threads tab, and then you'll see search threads posted in Splinterlands community. And then you can search, it's full text search, so you can search anything. And then you can also sort by latest, oldest, and by votes for all the threads that have ever been created in that Splinterlands community. So like I see someone's talking about Riverboat Captain. So I'm going to search Riverboat Captain. And his thread comes up. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And I mean the full search, the full text search, I don't know if that's available on Hive, but it's amazing because now you can actually search for text excerpts and then see if someone's talking about it. I don't know if it works on long form posts, but sometimes I just remember, oh, I was writing about this, but I can't remember the title of the post, so I cannot really find it. But if you could actually just search for text within the post content, that will also be killer.
Yeah, Taskmaster was asking about that too. We want to do it for all of the long form content on Hive, not just on Leo, but literally all the blog posts going back to the beginning of Hive. It's just that we have to scale the database like in a really big way, because think about indexing threads. Threads are only a year old, first of all, and there's not as many threads as there are posts. And then second of all, threads are a lot shorter than posts, and they don't typically include images and stuff like that. So, you know, indexing all the posts is very difficult. But what we are going to do it. So the technology we've built to search threads is going to be layered on for long form. I just don't know when. I do have it on the Dev 100 list though, and I'm hoping that we have that by Hive Fest. I think it'd be something cool to present at Hive Fest, where you could literally full text search any Hive post that's ever been created, alongside searching, you know, any thread ever created. The search feature works really. I'm really happy with the search feature, and it is a little bit buggy. I just posted a thread. So like sometimes you'll get like an application error and stuff where we have the we know why that's happening now. We kind of figured it out this morning. So we're working on a bug fix. That's one of the main fixes that we need to get out before we're going to push to production. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with the search feature. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and one thing that you could do for to avoid stressing the databases and the servers, by the way, when Leonode, but you could just use the NFTs, and if you hold this NFT, you have a script that then you get your posts indexed. If you don't hold that NFT, the script ignores you. I don't know, just an idea.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Luis 88 is saying, at Carl, you can edit the threadcast to add the live stream on top. So it would be cool to have the threadcast and then a couple of pinned replies that always stays on top.
I like that. Pinned replies.
Pretty good feedback. Oh, I'm just watching the, so every reply made to the threadcast, it's obviously replying to LeoCache, right? So we could get rid of the replying to the OP because every thread has it. But I mean, it's kind of obvious because everyone's replying to you, right?
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. Replying to, yeah. We could.
Maybe just
I
make
think
it
about that
transparent
maybe.
so that people don't see it.
Right.
I mean, if it's hard to take it out at a code base.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to think about how we would do that. We might be able to do that though. Yeah, I'd have to think about that a little bit.
Tokenized societies, speaking facts. It would be cool to have a dedicated space on the UI homepage showing all the live threadcasts so people can easily find and join them. I mean, maybe when we have enough, you have to start more threadcasts, guys.
Yeah, you got to do more. Yeah, we don't really have a whole lot, but we don't have a whole lot of threadcasts these days, which is part of the reason we wanted to do this one, just to test the new threadcast mode. So yeah, we need more, and then we'll launch that feature. When 10 threadcasts per day, then we'll launch it. But yeah, we're gonna make it. I just posted a screenshot. We're gonna make that threadcast schedule look like kind of like Twitter Spaces. And it'll be like in the, if you're on desktop on the homepage, it'll be under that trending tags box. You'll see like a little square rectangle, and it's going to show like live threadcasts, and it'll kind of be like a sideways scrolling thing. And you'll be able to see like the different threadcasts, and then you can click to join them. So, and then I do want to also do it where like on Twitter, it says like, it shows profile images, and it says like, you know, Elon Musk is listening to this space, or Elon Musk is speaking in this space. I want to do something like that where it shows like taskmasters threading in this space, stuff like that, and then you can click on it, and then it makes it a little more interactive.
Yeah, definitely. I just had a Twitch moment. You know how when you're watching a stream and a ton of people comment at the same time, and it just like pushes all the comments down. Like you just posted the screenshot, and then 5 seconds later, a lot of people just wrote something, and it just pushed everything. And it was like, whoa, 5 new comments at the same time.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see.
Taskmaster is being compared to Elon Musk. Cal is finally learning. Taskmaster said that on the threadcast.
Hilarious. Live bug fixing.
Daily threadcasts around hot topics. People just can talk about topics. Yeah, I think a couple of I don't know the term, but the citizen journalists on X do that. So for example, let's just say North Korea did something. They just start a space and they discuss the topic with a few experts on the subject. That could also be a good reason to start a threadcast, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and Taskmaster and I were talking about doing those political debates. So, you know, I think there's a lot of cool use cases. Any live event where there's discussion around the event, I think is a cool use case for threadcasts, and we should definitely be having those.
Yeah. I know that you I don't know if you want to change the topic, but you almost got liquidated a few days ago. I did.
Oh, you froze. Eric is frozen.
I think
Oh,
either
now you're
I
back.
froze. Oh, yeah, I'm back. Oh yeah, I was just saying, I don't know if you heard me.
I heard after you said, I know you almost got liquidated, and I did, and then you froze.
Yeah, I was this close to getting liquidated last week. Do you want to talk crypto markets?
Yeah, let's do it. There was one thing I want to talk about right before crypto markets, just real quick. Taskmaster left a comment talking about ads and page views. So with the real-time updating, it obviously you're not refreshing the page, so technically it's not a page view. But as the thread cast gets more replies, you'll see ads, like, because ads get mixed in like every 8 replies, you know. So as more replies get added, you will see more ads get mixed in. So while it may not count towards that like total page view figure, it actually still is giving ad views. So if threadcasts get really big, you are still getting the ad views, but we don't really have a good way of tracking the viewer metrics of that. So like the total view count might not be totally accurate. It would be undershooting what it actually is. So so yeah, maybe at some point we might be able to figure out something where it's like every time 8 comments get posted, it automatically counts as a view for each user that's on the page. It gets a little complicated, but at some point we'll figure that out. But if anything, it's just undershooting. The total view counter is just going to be undershooting what it actually is. You guys also might have noticed that on labs, views don't count. So to the view counter. And that's just because the API we use doesn't allow labs to be integrated. It's only for the main UI. So just keep in mind that like your views don't really count on labs. They count for ad revenue, but they don't count for the view counter. So it's in the weeds type of stuff. Also on the topic of ads, we're going to be testing, probably starting today, affiliate marketing partnerships. So I actually put out a thread. I was looking for anyone who has experience with affiliate marketing. I know like John Golson and some other people do. So if you do, feel free to reach out to me. But we're going to start testing some affiliate marketing because we've been having some marketing people look at the UI and look at the ads and try to kind of optimize us more for better ad revenue. And one suggestion we got was that we should integrate affiliate marketing links mixed in with regular ads. So like right now we only have banner ads, so we get paid per impression and per click. But affiliate marketing, you get paid per actual like sale or sign up. And in crypto, there's a lot of really cool affiliate programs with like different exchanges. Like Thorchain has some affiliate programs. Blockchains have different affiliate programs. Like there's all sorts of pretty cool crypto-based affiliate programs that we can do. So I've started to reach out to some crypto companies and see what we can do about affiliate programs. And we got 2 so far that got approved. So we're going to start just lightly testing to see what becomes of that. And maybe we earn more revenue from affiliate programs than from these, because the ads that we get from Coinzilla aren't super relevant. They're not that good. They're usually like gambling ads and stuff, which kind of sucks. So I think affiliate ads where there's like really like actually relevant and like cool affiliate ads where there's like it's an actually like good product. So like for example, like a Coinbase affiliate ad where like if you sign up to Coinbase, Leo earns like $50 and then like 5% of all your trades, like all the trade commissions for like 2 years or something. So I think that could be like a huge vortex of ad revenue that's way better than just banner ads.
Yeah. Affiliate marketing is gonna change the way. I'm gonna mute myself for a second.
Okay. So I'll just jump into I just wanted to answer that ads question real quick so that Taskmaster didn't think I was ignoring it. Let's jump into the markets though. So you were talking about the Bitcoin vault and getting liquidated. So you almost got liquidated. I also almost got liquidated on one of my vaults that I keep kind of risky. Actually it went below my liquidation price, but the way that MakerDAO works is that you have like an hour to add collateral. So Taskmaster said he was going to ask it again. I would have ignored it again. Just kidding. So you have like an hour to add collateral. So my liquidation price was like 27K Bitcoin, and we were above 29, 30K. So I felt pretty good about it. And then obviously we kind of had a huge liquidation event and went down to 25K. So I had like an hour to add, like something like 1-2 Bitcoin to my vault, to keep it from getting liquidated. So I had to buy up some Bitcoin and then put it in the vault. But I have been taking this opportunity because we've been sitting around, like right now we're at 25,800. When we get off this call, I'm probably going to buy some more Bitcoin and put it in my vault. So I've been taking this opportunity to buy Bitcoin and put it back in my vault, and build an even bigger position. So yeah, I like Bitcoin at this level. I like buying it here a lot more than I like buying it at 30K. And I don't think much has changed fundamentally. I think just the market has gotten hurt a little bit. And there really hasn't been anything like fundamentally different. I know we kind of had that huge hype cycle with the ETF news, and we've kind of given back most of that move now. But the ETF news is like, ETF's still on the table. It's not, hasn't been disproved or anything. So yeah, I'm still pretty bullish in the short term and the long term.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Carl's talking about the MakerDAO vaults. Basically, what you do is, so you have some money, right? And you don't want, like, you want to buy crypto, but you also have monthly expenses. So instead of using that money to pay rent or to pay your car insurance or whatever, you buy Bitcoin, you put it in a vault, and then you collateralize that Bitcoin and take a loan against it at 50%. So let's say that you have $5,000. You put that in a vault, and then you can take out 2,500 USD in DAI, and then you can use that to pay your monthly expenses. And then once Bitcoin, if you're betting on Bitcoin going up, once it goes up, you can just pay that debt with your Bitcoin profits. And then you didn't have, like, you were able to buy crypto without having to get behind on your monthly payments, monthly expenses. So it's a pretty good model, but you have to be a good risk. You have to be good at risk management.
100%. Yeah, you have to be really on top of the risk management, and you got to be careful that you don't over leverage yourself in terms of, like, if crypto goes down, like, imagine that, I got to that liquidation level and I didn't have the money to buy some Bitcoin and put it in the vault. I would have been screwed, So, I would have gotten liquidated and there was nothing I could do. So you have to, keep your risk parameters in check, both in terms of liquidation price and in terms of having money that's not in the vault and being able to put that money to work at a moment's notice. Like I literally had an hour to just like come up with, like, I had to buy, I think it was like 1 Bitcoin or something like that. So I had to buy like $25,000. I needed 25,000 in dry powder to be able to throw into Bitcoin. So if you're like fully invested in crypto and, crypto tanks, then like, now you're selling crypto low. Like, imagine that you had Rune or something, selling some cheap Rune to buy Bitcoin. So you're kind of making a bad trade there. So it's good to have like some stable coins. And that's why, I like to have a lot of money in stable coins like HBD. So I actually use some HBD to buy some Bitcoin and then put the Bitcoin in the vault. And then, when Bitcoin goes up back to 30K or whatever, I might take that Bitcoin back out, having made some profit on it, and then put it back into HBD. So you just have to be smart, and you have to be forward thinking in terms of the mechanics. And I think that eludes a lot of people. It's hard to do that.
Yeah, and one of the main gateways is that you have to have at least, I think it's 7,500 USD in Bitcoin. So it's not easy for everyone to just collateralize Bitcoin. Like, you cannot just do that with $1,000 of Bitcoin. One thing that I was thinking about was if Leo could make like a crowd bag. I don't even know the term, but like so if you want to buy Bitcoin and collateralize that, but you don't have enough money to have your own vault, you could set some trustworthy person in the community to get from 7 people $1,000, and then they can all do that, and they can just increase their Bitcoin back. Of course, it's not financial advice, because you are just not going to give someone trustworthy your own money. But if there was a protocol or a smart contract to do that in Leo, it would like the whole purpose of LeoFinance is to democratize access and knowledge to finance. So this would give the small fish the access to these huge protocols that they do not have right now.
100%. Yeah, I have an idea to do something kind of like that with a smart contract, and to do it on a platform like Cub and Polycub, where you'd be able to deposit like Hive or HBD or something, and then the smart contract would automatically collateralize it and into its own vault, and then it worked like that, and then it would take a small fee for doing that. That's an idea I have. And I do want to do collateralized loans, where we have one dev working on this, and he's been working on it for a while, but it's just really complex, and you have to think about a lot of different, you have to think about a lot of different scenarios, and you have to kind of like risk, like we were talking about risk management. It's a whole other set of risk management when you're the one creating the vaults. So, and I know Addicted, he's in the Discord right now. We talked way back in the day about vaults and collateralized lending on Leo and Polycub and Cub, and risk management and bad debt. So, if you have the right parameters in place, you can build a really cool collateralized lending protocol that makes a lot of money, because you take a small fee on every little transaction, and it collects a lot of fee revenue, and then you use that to support the token, and as long as you avoid getting bad debt into the system, then you're golden. So yeah, I have a bunch of different ideas for that, where we could do like collateralized Leo loans, where you could take like Leo and you could collateralize it, and then take out a stable coin against it. So a lot of cool different ideas for that.
Yeah, and for those who for the uninitiated, if people have vaults on Ethereum or Bitcoin, and this is how the markets work a little bit, like this is an oversimplification of how it works, but if people are getting liquidated at 25,000, the moment that Bitcoin hits 25,200, they are going to buy Bitcoin to defend their liquidation, which adds buy pressure and defends the price. So if this goes into action in Leo, we could have massive defense walls at certain price points. So this actually helps stability in the Leo ecosystem and the Hive ecosystem as well. So yeah, this whole idea works in benefit of Hive and Leo. So it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, I still love the DeFi stuff. I know it's been rough for DeFi the past year or two. Been a big bear market for DeFi, but I do think if you build good products, you'll win out in the long run. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and the thing that you mentioned, the dry powder, you really have to have enough money to defend your positions, or you're gonna get screwed.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's your take on the whole 20%, 50%, 15%, 12% APR for HBD? I know there's some conversation about dropping it from 20% to 12, maybe 15%. I know Taskmaster is completely against it, but I do know there's some benefits to having a 20% APR on a stable coin. And I do know that you are a huge supporter of that 20%.
Yeah, I was really excited when that happened. In my opinion, it really changes the economics of Hive. Hive, the token, and Hive as an ecosystem, and then also HBD. I have, stablecoins have become a huge market in the crypto space. They are slowly, literally taking over, the majority of trading volumes, and people are holding a lot of money in stable coins. Like I was saying, there's a huge use case. I mean, there's like infinite use cases for stablecoins, but one of the huge use cases is like crypto market just went down a lot, and we both have, you know, MakerDAO vaults, and sitting in a stable coin where you can instantly access it for liquidity. And you don't have to like go through a bank to like deposit USD, and then you have to wait for Bitcoin to arrive, and then you got to wrap it to wrap Bitcoin. Instead, you sit in like HBD, and you know the market goes down, and then you convert the HBD into wrap Bitcoin in under an hour, and then you can defend your vault with that. So that, I mean, that's like one of, you know, thousands of use cases for stablecoins. Yeah, Tax is saying stablecoins, a parking spot and a medium of exchange. Yeah, I mean, like those are two of the biggest use cases, but there's plenty more. I was talking about in the Crypto Daily podcast I did yesterday. I was talking about how Shopify integrated USDC. So, you know, stable coins are, and that's millions of digital e-commerce stores that now can accept USDC directly. So, you know, I don't think stable coins are going anywhere. I think stable coins are going to be taking over a very large percentage of global financial transactions. And the fact that Hive has probably the best decentralized stablecoin out there, it's the longest standing one. It has never had a blow up issue. You know, like I said, it's been around a really long time, and it's got a cute, like a really, not necessarily huge community supporting it, but it's got a very strong community supporting it. I'm very bullish on what HBD could do for Hive as an ecosystem. And I think one of the biggest issues with HBD is liquidity. And so having a high APR got me really excited, because I was like, okay, you know, the biggest issue for HBD adoption is that, first of all, nobody knows about it. Second of all, there's no liquidity. I mean, there's like 14 million HBD that exists right now. So that huge APR is actually a really good thing, because now we can get more than 14 million HBD. We can start to actually build liquidity, and we can get more liquid HBD out there. So there's a lot of reasons why the 20% excites me. And not just in terms of being a use case for people to buy and stake HBD, but in terms of like people buy and stake HBD, earn 20%, and then, yeah, they might go out in the market and sell that HBD, but then other people are buying it and either, you know, saving it or using it for transactions. So, you know, I'm excited to see HBD get utilized in more places. And, you know, when that 20% APR happened, that's when we launched BHBD and PHBD, and we decided that, you know, it was the right time to start building liquidity for HBD, because, you know, we saw that whale, Lazy Panda, buy like 1.2 million HBD or something, and he like single-handedly drove the Hive price up like 15 cents. So the idea of, and really the central argument against this 20% APR is that it gives people less of a reason to hold Hive, which I think is completely off base. You know, I was talking yesterday that the value proposition for buying and holding Hive is that you're investing in the Hive ecosystem and the future success of Hive. It's not so that you can earn, you know, there's a 12% APR for holding Hive as Hive power if you hold it and then you use it for curation. That is not the central argument to hold Hive. I mean, it's like a dividend. It's the benefit, right? So the way I view Hive and HBD is that you buy Hive and you stake it because you believe in the long-term prospect of Hive becoming more valuable, the market cap increasing over time. And then you happen to also earn 12% interest, which is basically a dividend on that Hive. So it's like you're owning a dividend stock in, like, you know, Coca-Cola, where you say, okay, 20 years from now, Coca-Cola is going to be worth a lot more money. And in the meantime, I'm going to earn a percentage of Coca-Cola's revenue, like 5%, as a dividend. So that's the way I view Hive. And the way I view HBD is that HBD is a bond, and you buy HBD and you can put it in savings. And what you're essentially doing is you're putting a bond out into the world, and buying HBD is exactly what Tassich is saying. Hive is speculation, HBD is yield. You're buying HBD to earn yield, and in exchange, you're basically loaning money to the Hive ecosystem. And eventually, when you want to get out of the HBD, you're like claiming the bond, and you take your money out of HBD by selling it back into Hive, and then you do whatever you want with the Hive. Maybe you stake the Hive, or maybe you sell the Hive. It doesn't matter. But essentially, you just gave a loan to the Hive ecosystem for that period of time. So HBD and Hive are completely different. They have completely different reasons for an investor to jump into them. the argument that HBD is taking away from Hive power staking is completely ridiculous to me, because if I want to make a lot of money, I'm going to put my money in Hive, because I think Hive is going to go up in value in the long run, far more than 20% a year. And really, it only has to go up 8% a year, because you're earning 12% versus 20% on HBD. So really, if you think Hive is going to appreciate more than 8% a year on average, you're going to far outpace the returns of HBD. So that's why I just think and there's like 8 million HBD staked or something right now. So we're comparing $8 million to, like, I don't even know what Hive's current market cap is. It's like 100 million or something, right?
It's we have like 300 million Hive, and it's currently at 30 cents. So yeah, it's around 100 million. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're comparing like, yeah, $107 million. So, HBD is tiny. I mean, it's tiny. And I just think that changing the rate now without trying to like create a really good economy around HBD and Hive is a mistake. I think it's just people that are just deciding on a whim that they just don't want to do it anymore, which I think is also dangerous, because, let's say we drop it to 10, 12% now. There's people out there like that Lazy Panda guy who, have bought into this ecosystem through this bond, which is HBD. And if you just change the rate on them without much community discussion, and just based on the whim of the top 20 witnesses, I think that's dangerous. It's a dangerous signal to the crypto space. So I would, at the very least, and I'm not completely opposed to changing it, I'm just, at the very least, I think there should be very intense discussions and a very clear reason why you're going to change this APR, because there's no real good reason. Like, the only reason I've ever seen is that people are saying that it takes away from Hive power, which I don't see that as a strong argument. And I don't think there's enough evidence to back that as a strong argument. It's not like we're seeing HBD savings outpacing Hive power staking. So it's like, that's the way I see it. I see it as more of like a move without much clarity and basis in reality, as opposed to like something that's well thought out and organized, which I think is dangerous for Hive. I don't think you should be changing things on a whim. I think there should be very clear reasoning behind global changes like this.
Yeah, and I mean, if I have funds or part of my portfolio on stable coins and that yield drops, it's not like I'm going to buy Hive, which is more prone to volatility. I'm just going to buy USDC or anything else, and I'm just going to pull it somewhere. If the APR drops, it's not like the HBD holders or savings they are just going to move that to Hive. I don't think Hive and HBD are competing for people's money. I think they complement each other. One thing that it's pretty pretty interesting is that the 2018 bull market and the 2021 bull market are going to be very different to the next one. We don't know if it's going to be this year or the next year, but people from Hive think that stable coins are a thing that everyone knows about and that has been there for like since forever, because Hive, previously Steam, we had a stable coin since 2016, but people don't really realize that, for example, USDT has been there for 7 years already, but DAI has been for 2 years, BUSD 2 years, USDC 3 years. So it's not really like stable coins have been around for a long time. HBD has matured, has a long-term community behind it. We can sustain the 20% APR. It's not like it's printing a lot of money compared to the market cap. So I don't think lowering it is going to do any difference. And it's just going to trump us to attract capital, because right now that 20% could be used as a huge leverage to market that and get whales money into Hive through HBD.
Yeah, it's HBD has a huge value proposition in this market right now, and I just think that changing the APR on it is to say that it's a failed experiment. without any real failure. You know, there's no failure to point to for HBD right now. I think if a couple of months or a couple of years goes by and people are like, okay, no new capital is coming in, and we're just seeing this be a net outflow. Then I think there's an argument that could be made that something should change. But I just think right now it's just like it's like really proactive in the terms of like, it's like way too proactive. You're changing something in anticipation of something that's not happening right now and might never happen at all. It's like saying that you don't want to drive a car because you could get into a car accident. It's like, okay, well, yeah, but you could also not get into a car accident. You could be safe. You could evaluate, the road, and keep your eyes open, and it'll help you get from A to Z. You can't just be afraid of everything. So fear can be as much of a killer as anything else. So
yeah, and the best part is that we don't need a hard fork, or we don't really need anything too lengthy or complicated to drop that APR. Like if the witnesses notice there's something happening or is about to happen, which is not the case right now, they can just start signaling 12% or 15% and just react once it's clear that a situation might happen. But right now it's not on the horizon, and since it's such an easy change to do because they just need to change the signaling, why do it preemptively in an exaggerated way? I think you're totally right.
yeah.
Luis is asking about HBD. How much, and I have no idea, so maybe how much printed HBD do we need to be attractive to the overall trading exchanges, and all those people want to pay in a shop with HBD their Coca-Cola and food?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a little bit of a subjective question. Like it's kind of hard to know. HBD used to be listed on Binance, and at a 10 right now, the HBD market cap's like $10 to $14 million. I think it's a little bit too small. Like I think $20 million and plus, I think we could start to really get into. And I know Crim is working on trying to get HBD into exchanges and stuff. So I'd say $20 million, and you keep getting more and more liquidity, and then getting to centralized exchanges is going to be a lot easier. And then, like I said, we've been working on decentralized exchanges and getting HBD in more places. I've actually been talking to someone. I made a thread about it, but I haven't really talked about it much. I've been talking to someone at ThorChain about getting BHBD and Beehive listed on ThorChain, and getting like streaming swaps and everything going for it. So that would obviously be huge in terms of liquidity and trading volume. But yeah, there's no real way to know. I mean, you need HBD to be, the real metric is like you need HBD to be easily transactable in terms of going in and out of it from any other crypto. So right now, if you want HBD, you basically have to buy Hive on an exchange and then move it to the Hive blockchain, and then use the Hive blockchain's either conversion mechanism or internal market to then convert to HBD. And usually you're paying a premium or selling at a discount in order to do that. And then, and that's just the real, in my opinion, that's the real hurdle that causes a lack of adoption for HBD, is that it's so hard to get in and out of. So, fixing that, and I think it's gotten a lot better since that 20% change. It's gotten infinitely better. Like there were points in the past where I sold or bought HBD at a 5% premium or discount, and now it's like usually under 1%. So it's gotten a lot more liquid and a lot better, in my opinion. And things like BHBD and PHBD, Phive, Beehive, that's stuff that I've been really passionate about and focused on building better bridges and building liquidity for those. Because if you imagine a world where there's $2 million in BHBD liquidity, then you can swap instantly any stable coin for HBD, and it creates a really good inflow and outflow avenue. So yeah, I'm really passionate about HBD and getting more adoption for it, and it makes me very bullish on Hive to think of a future where You have a ton of HBD adoption. HBD is being used regularly. And it's like I said, it's like a bond in the Hive ecosystem.
Yeah, and I do think that it's important to focus on centralized exchanges listings, but the future and the narrative is pushing DeFi, and the recent events from on with FTX, and then all of the news that we're getting from Binance. People are starting to get on the narrative of DeFi is the future. So yes, while focusing on the centralized exchanges listings is good, also DeFi is incredibly important. And for those who don't know, the reason that Hive or HBD as the native coins cannot get listed on Rune with the streaming swaps is because Hive is not, well, Hive the blockchain, I don't know the technology behind it, but I do know that it's not compatible with the EVM chains. So that's why Rune hasn't really listed anything related to Hive or any other DeFi protocol. Like, why is Uniswap not using Hive as a bridge or whatever? Like, it's because the Hive technology is so different with the Ethereum technology, and all of these EVM blockchains are based on Ethereum. So that's why Hive as a native token cannot get listed, but BHBD and Beehive can.
Yep. Yeah. And Thorchain's about to integrate BSC, which is why I'm talking to them and trying to figure that out. So they're about to integrate BSC, and then we can get BHBD Beehive on there. And yeah, I mean, one of the awesome things about Hive is that it's so different. One of the hard things about Hive is that it's so different. You know, it's like getting adoption for Hive is like a double-edged sword. So, which also takes me to another point of my argument about, you know, why, if our goal, and I try to bring things back to the fundamental level, like, you know, people want to change the HBD APR because they're worried that it's taking away from the idea of getting people to buy and stake Hive. If our goal is to actually get people to buy and stake Hive, I think looking at HBD is the wrong way. It's like looking internally and saying, like, you know, our company's failing because our cash flow is negative. Let's look at places where we can, you know, cut, you know, employees, cut spending. And that's a fine thing to do too. But it's like, if you do that and ignore generating new cash flow, I think you're only looking at half the picture. So I think that's what the argument to lower the interest rate of HBD is, looking at half the picture. You're only looking at that one side of things. And if you actually look at the other side of things, which is, okay, well, how do we actually, you know, get people to buy and stake Hive? One thing I've been really passionate about is, let's make resource credits more expensive. Let's make it, like, you look at chains like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, they all have gas fees, even Bitcoin. They all have gas fees. And one of the reasons why is because, you know, you need gas fees in some sort of capacity in order to, you know, support the ecosystem, and also to, like, make it so that there needs to be some competition, in my opinion. This is all very capitalistic. There needs to be some sort of competition in order to transact. And I would love to see resource credits at the point where you actually need resource credits. Like you actually run out of resource credits frequently, which is how gas works. Like, you have to top up your gas frequently. So what if you had to top up your Hive power frequently? And a lot of people will say, well, that ruins the user experience of Hive. Very true. Like, if the average person comes in and they have to, you know, keep buying Hive in order to transact, that's going to be a problem. But what if applications gave you some bare minimum of Hive to transact on them? Like, I know as for LeoFinance, you know, we give brand new onboarded users some resource credits so that they can do, you know, like 10 comments a day or 20 comments a day or 30 threads a day or whatever. So at the application layer, if you make resource credits more expensive, you know, 3Speak, Splinterlands, Leo, we're all going to need to buy Hive power and hold it. It gives us an incentive to hold Hive power, because then we can give resource credits to our users. And then on the more user level and the investor level and everything like that, they also may want to have their own resource credits so that they don't have to rely on applications. So now you've got two reasons, as a user and as an application, to have Hive power and to keep topping up your Hive power. Because right now, there's really no reason to keep topping up your Hive power unless you want to have more influence in governance, or you want to create more accounts, or you want to earn the 12% interest rate, or you believe that Hive is going to go up in value. But what if you had a fifth reason, and that reason is resource credits are expensive, just like gas fees on Ethereum, and you have to keep topping up in order to keep transacting. And I think that is a huge use case for Hive. Like, if you made resource credits expensive, I really think you could see Hive, 10, 20, 30x in the next bull market, because it gets more and more and more expensive to transact.
Yeah, and what people fail, well, maybe not everyone fails to realize, but some people fail to realize is that this is not like X or Elon saying, okay, you have, because I think a few weeks ago there was this situation where you were capped at the amount of tweets that you could interact with, because there were some attacks or whatever, and non-premium accounts were able to just comment under 25 tweets, and then if you were a premium account you could do 100. I think I can't remember the numbers, but on Hive, if your resource credits are limited and then you can not only send 30 threads a day, you own your own digital identity, and you own your ability to keep threading, because you all you need to do is power up more Hive or ask your dApp to refill you, and then you can keep going. There's no centralized authority that tells you your cap is at 100 threads or 10 posts or anything. You can just keep growing that ability to keep interacting on chain at your own will. And Luis, Taskmaster, he's saying adding a couple 100,000 people using RCs per day will drive a greater need for Hive. Yep, totally with you.
Yeah, and that's what Leo aims to do. I mean, onboarding all these users is what will make me more bullish on Hive, in my opinion, because like Taskmaster was saying, like, get more users in, and you see RCs get more expensive, and now apps like Leo need to hold more Hive power, and I'm going to start to get really bullish on Hive and holding a lot of Hive power. Addicted saying RC costs will skyrocket when our blocks eventually fill up from legitimate use. I don't think we should increase the cost artificially. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally on board with that. Like that, that is like what's gonna happen. If we get more applications onboarded and build more good use cases, like Threads is starting to fill up more and more block space. And if we get we get 10,000 more users, we're gonna see blocks get a lot more filled. So that will it'll create a natural increase in RCs. So all I'm saying about increasing the cost artificially is that, that to me would be a better, if you are looking to do something and people want to do something to make Hive more attractive, I don't think that lowering the HBD interest rate is going to make Hive more attractive. If anything, I think it'll do the opposite. So if you need to do something, or you feel the need to do something, my opinion would be increasing RCs is probably the best thing that you could do. I don't really see anything that would be more attractive on the table for Hive in terms of get more users and also increase the cost of RCs. Those would be the two places I would look if I was trying to increase the price of Hive.
Yeah. Not just get users in, but we also have to get them settled to the communities of their choice. I guess onboarding based on the user internet is the key. Yes, Esme Smith. Tokenized societies, we just hit 400 comments and the threadcast is running as smoothly as when it was created. Yep. Wow, and the threadcast keeps going. I'm just a basic cat. My most profound question is when moon? Kyle, that question is saying that you guys carry the cat guide. When moon? When 100,000 users?
Soon.
Yeah. Soon. I mean, imagine if, well, not if, when the Leo proposal gets approved, we're going to look like, one thing that we haven't really said publicly is that the goal is 10,000 users, but if we do things right, and if we manage to leverage all the synergy between the marketing plans and the audience response, and the Hive community rallies behind the initiatives, because we're going to need a lot of people retweeting, reblogging, talking about marketing, talking about Hive in other platforms, etc., etc. So if all of that coincides, I think 10,000 new users is going to be very conservative. I think we can manage to get a lot more.
Yeah. Well, just look at the Threadcast thing right now. Like, you know, it's not hard to imagine, like, you know, we were talking in the post from last night. It's not hard to imagine that we get some, you know, 5 to 10 to 20 IRL communities of like 100 or a couple hundred people to do a Threadcast of their latest event. And, you know, in exchange, we offer like some sort of giveaway or something. But, you know, imagine an instant community joins, you know, and does a Threadcast, and like 100 people create accounts on Hive, and they don't even really know that they're using Hive right away. They just create accounts and they start using a Threadcast, and it's like really fun and interactive, and they're doing the upvotes and people are earning rewards and like, oh, this is super cool. And then in the bottom corner, you know, a week later, it pops up, hey, you know, take this free course on Hive. It's, you know, we'll give you $10 in rewards after you take it. And it teaches them about Hive, teaches them about HBD, Hive Power, and it onboards them into other partner Hive apps that we're working with. Like we want to work with like Spoonerlands and ActiveFit and all these other apps, 3Speak, and try to get them integrated so that we can, you know, get these users into not just Leo, but just all Hive apps and create Hive users out of them. So, you know, that all this stuff is what would make me really bullish on Hive, not lowering interest rates. I just don't think that's attractive. I think what you want to do is grow, not take away from something. And I saw Tokenized Society said this is one of the reasons why Leo proposal is so important. And I agree. I mean, I think, you know, we're only like 1 million Hive Power away from getting voted into the current funding round. So, and the funding would begin on September 1st. And me and Eric have been releasing all the marketing plans. So, you know, I know that, you know, between Eric and I, we can onboard 10,000 plus users to Hive in the next year. The funding will help us amplify what we can already do. And you've already seen the Leo UI grow from, you know, 500 users at the beginning of the year to now like over 1,300 monthly active users. So, you know, we've tripled the user base with very little to no funding in terms of marketing. You know, I don't really give Eric much of a marketing budget at all.
I have to take it away from you.
Yeah, he's got to beg me for it, and then he's got to be a guerrilla marketer in terms of getting people onboarded without much funding. So, you know, people have asked why we're doing the proposal, and the real reason is that giving us a dedicated marketing budget is something that I think will amplify everything we already do and take it, you know, 10x to the next level in terms of what we can do in onboarding. So I'm 100% confident that we can onboard 10,000 new Hivers, not just to Leo, but to all Hive apps. And, you know, that's just how things are going.
Yeah. And some concerns about the DHF proposal is the influencer side of things. And yes, of course, crypto influencers are not trustworthy. Well, maybe 99% of them are not. It's very hard to get attention in the crypto market, but Hive, well, the crypto audience, but Hive offers a full set of niche communities that we haven't really tapped on. Maybe instead of focusing on bringing, I don't know, the cheeky crypto with 100,000 followers on Twitter into threads and into using threads or whatever, we can just focus on small influencers. Let's say a 5,000 streamer who gets a 5,000 follower streamer who gets, let's say, 300 views every day. We can just go and tell him, hey, I know you stream about gardening, but you have 300 loyal viewers every day. Come once a week and do your stream on threads. And then that's 300 users that will come every week into threads. And it's not going to cost a lot because the creator has 5,000 followers. So they are not expensive. And we don't really need to focus on the crypto audience to bring them to Hive if Hive already has hundreds of communities, niche communities that have nothing to do with crypto, blockchain, or whatever.
I agree. Influencers are the way, in my opinion. You get one influencer, one community, and you instantly get hundreds, even thousands of people.
Yeah. Taskmaster is asking, will shorts on Leo be at the comment level so they do not show up at the blog level and on people's feeds?
Yeah, so shorts will be like inside of a thread. So exactly how threads are at the comment level. It won't be in your blog feed.
Yeah. Oh, Tokenized Society just uploaded a picture of the Hive booth in Denver.
Oh, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
Oh, Hivebuzz has an onboarding section called tour. That's pretty good. We'll benchmark on that. Thanks, Luis. Once Leo gets video capacity, I bet there will be TikTok and YouTube influencers who will come here too. And that's one thing you have on the plans to maybe at some point think about how ad revenue gets distributed.
Yep.
And feedback. I think we are at almost 500 replies, and it's working very, very smooth.
Yeah, I haven't really seen. I mean, there's a couple bugs here and there, but nothing like directly related to the thread cache, really. So. Task Master said, forget Web 2 influencers. We need to create our own Web 3 influencers. Yeah, I mean, I still think an argument can be made that we can turn a Web 2 influencer into a Web 3 influencer, you know, with the right incentives and the right, you know, hand holding, I guess. Because, you know, they already have an audience. Like Web 3 influencers have no audience. And yeah, you should, I think you should do both. Like, and, you know, Eric and I have been working on the YouTube channel and the TikTok and YouTube shorts and all that stuff. So you guys might have seen, you know, those daily crypto videos I've been doing. And then, you know, we edit them down into shorts and stuff. So the idea is, you know, turning, you know, my, you know, personality or whatever you want to call it, into an influencer that we can use to drive people into Leo and Hive. So yeah, I think you should do both. I think you should do both.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna, I mean, I don't want to be harsh, but there are amazing content creators on ThreeSpeak, for example, but I used to create chess content and I suck ass. I mean, I'm not good. I wouldn't make it in the real world of influencers, of chess influencers. Yes, a strategy is to create Web3 influencers, but to be completely honest, it would be extremely hard to make a Hive influencer into a Web2 influencer. But if we can turn, like you say, if we could turn Web2 personalities into Web3 personalities, that they just continue to do the same what they do on Twitch or YouTube, but just that they do it on Hive, I think that's going to be golden, because as you say, they already have a 100,000 user audience. So they have to bring that to Hive, not create one on Hive.
Yeah.
Achievable. We should have Joe Rogan like podcasts once Leo video feature comes into Leo audio.
Yeah, I want to, you know, Eric had put that in one of the posts recently, but I want to start doing more of like the Chain Chatter podcast like we used to do. We said we would bring it back at some point. So, you know, we've got a lot on our plate right now, but a big piece of the marketing campaign will be growing partnerships with these other businesses, communities, ecosystems out there in the crypto space and et cetera. And one thing I'd love to do is start doing chain chatter again with the founders and doing threadcasts during the chain chatter and being like, hey, look at how many, you know, we got 500 live comments right here on threads on this threadcast. You know, you should bring your community over and maybe you do like a weekly podcast with your community and we'll sponsor the podcast and, you know, maybe we'll pay you a little bit of money every month and you can use it for funding. And then, you know, you're doing a threadcast every week and hopefully your community sticks around and is active on threads after. Which I think is definitely achievable. So,
yeah, very true. And the reality is that Web3 projects, they want the attention and they want the showcase. So if we make LeoFinance be the place to promote a Web3 project, it's going to be a no-brainer to use Leo for all of the marketing campaigns and all of the outreach these people do. So yeah, it's very feasible.
yep.
When so this is a question related to Leo. When do you have the plans to have the Leo node? Because the Time Travelers is saying the dynamics of hosting both video, both short and long form content, both video and written, would require us to have a lot of processing power for encoding and storing. And I guess we would need the Leo node.
Yeah, for video stuff, that's actually through like 3Speak. That's why we want to use a network like 3Speak, where they're handling all the backend encoding and everything, storage. And you know, we'll run like a 3Speak node, and then our UI just kind of handles it from there. But in terms of like a Leo full node for Hive, actually, we've been working on it. We are building basically a custom node solution. Where, you know, we need certain customizations in that node. So actually you guys saw that we did that 1500 thread reply threadcast last Tuesday for the AMA. And some of you guys noticed that it didn't go beyond like 1530 replies or something, like at least the counter wouldn't increase. And the reason for that is that we actually hit a ceiling in terms of Hive nodes. So LeoCache is now so good that we could have, you know, 10,000, maybe even 100,000 threads in one single thread container. But Hive nodes can't actually go beyond 1,500 threads in a single thread container because it just reads them as comments. So to the Hive blockchain, it's like 1,500 comments in this one container. You know, we can't go beyond that. But if we have a custom node solution, which is what we're building, our node can handle more than 1,500 if we build it in a custom way. So that's what we're working on now. For scaling, for the scaling of threads. So, you know, right now, if any threadcast gets to like 1,500 plus, it's going to start to have a few issues, and that's all Hive node related. It's not LeoCache related. So when we have our custom node out, that'll get fixed. And then I want to do a threadcast where we try to do like 10,000, 100,000 threads, because I just want to really stress test that. So that last AMA was a really good stress test, though, because we didn't know what the limit was going to be. So you guys found the limit at 1,500. So now it's time to get serious about the Leo node and start pushing it.
And I mean, it's not going to, like, every single day there's going to be the need for a 1,500 or more replies on a thread, but it's just preparing for the future, right?
Right.
It would be amazing for if at one point every single day there was a huge influencer just trying to get as much traffic into his or her threadcast, because they know that traffic benefits them. Maybe they even become a Leo holder, and they know that ad revenue benefits Leo holders, and then we have this constant stream of big threadcasts coming into Leo and generating 2,000, 3,000 threads on a single threadcast. So it's just preparing for the future.
Exactly. Yep. Task is saying you could see threadcasts that do 4 or 5K. Yeah, I could see it too. You know, you get like 100 people in a threadcast, and you could easily do 4 or 5K. Because like right now we're about to hit 500, and I bet we only have like under 50 people. Way under 50, probably like 25 or less.
Yeah, and one thing I just got right now, instead of having the trending tags on the right side of the thread cast, because I don't think people care about that if they are watching the thread cast. Maybe we could have all the authors who are participating on the threadcast, and then just order them in terms of threads sent or latest threads, so you know who's active on the threadcast, like live.
I like that idea.
Yeah, maybe like 2 months ago, I just dumped a huge post with like 200 pictures of lions, and people are still using them. I just saw King World line.
Oh, I
posted a
saw that
thread.
picture. I was wondering
Yeah.
where that came from.
Yeah, I was just trying to top up my Mid-Journey minutes, because I don't like I felt like leaving money on the table if I didn't use them all. So I just generated like 200, 300 lion pictures in different scenarios and just posted that. And people are still using that. Pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool. I feel like I can always tell when it's an image made by Eric. I'm like, that looks like something he would make.
Do you remember Utopia? Utopian, right? It was
Yeah. Utopian IO or something.
Yeah, it was like a crowd development source. I don't really know, like people would contribute to Hive and get rewards in the process. That was pretty cool.
That was cool. I don't think I ever really used it, but yeah, there was like a bounty system basically, right?
Yeah. Because Luis is asking, any plans to revive something like Utopian? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the long-term vision of Leo is that we start moving more and more to a decentralized point. Like, you've said multiple times that having some level of centralization, especially for development, lets us move really, really quickly and do things, like do amazing things. But as the project matures, 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, open sourcing everything and, creating a dev fund and being very decentralized is the long-term vision, years down the road. So I definitely think something where, we've got bug bounties and we've got open source contributions and our kind of our own little like DHF funding pool that uses Leo. That's definitely in the cards in my like 10, 15 year roadmap.
Yeah, and going through that, with that same topic, someone mentioned, I don't remember who was it, I read it. Is there a plans to have community run nodes to help Leo, or how can the community get involved in helping Leo at the backend level?
Yeah, like you said, very similar to what we were just talking about. I think, in the long run, we're going to need Leo nodes. Like if we get to 1 million users, we're going to start to need a lot of infrastructure. And I think open sourcing the backend and making that infrastructure available for anyone, pretty much like a blockchain, where you can download and run your own witness instance. I think that's going to be something that happens in the long run. Like I said, that's looking like the 5, 10, 15 year roadmap.
Yeah, and that's one of the best parts, that Leo is in for the long run, not going anywhere.
Yep. Taskmaster asks, what's the plan for news to threads? So I'm asked twice, so now I'm going to reply. Yeah, I love news to threads. I actually was gonna ping Eric about making it faster, because like right now, basically, like you can submit articles and then they get posted. I don't know what the time difference is between them, but it's like a few minutes or something. And I think we should actually make it a little bit faster because there's more and more threads getting posted, so they kind of get lost. So yeah, I would love to see it. I would love to see it get posted more frequently, and then also support more websites, and then maybe even add some automations and stuff. So I love news to threads. I think it's awesome. I actually use it sometimes for the crypto daily videos. So yeah, I think I want to do a lot of cool stuff with it. So if you guys have any ideas for news to threads, feel free to post it. And again, use that hashtag feedback tag. I know we were telling someone to give feedback using that tag. I actually read every single thread that's posted using that tag. And I actually literally add it to my list. Like when I see stuff, I add it to my list. So use that hashtag. It's actually very useful for me. It's the new way I have for organizing all the feedback. So let's do it. But yeah, I mean, we're about to hit 500 replies. I'm sure by the time we, right when we get off of this, we're going to hit 500. We're at 490. So yeah, we've been going for almost 2 hours. So well, this was just supposed to be for 45 minutes to talk about crypto and test the threadcast feature, but it turned into a whole AMA plus crypto stuff. But I'm happy with it. I think we get some cool clips too, and the threadcast feature worked really well. But yeah, that's all I got. Any closing words, Eric?
We just got excited, like Kat gets the people going.
It gets the people going.
This doesn't replace the AMA. This was just like
for fun.
Carl told me like 30 minutes before, hey, do you want to jump and do the threadcast? So make no mistake, the AMAs happen every Tuesday at noon Eastern. So
yep, noon Eastern / Sooniverse Standard Time.
Time flows differently in the LeoVerse.
It does.
People don't know. Yeah. All right.
Sweet.
I think that's it.
Well, thanks everyone for coming in and helping us test. Thanks, Eric, for jumping on short notice. Happy with how all this went. So
yeah.
Sweet.
I think that's it. See you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yep. See you guys Tuesday.